if I'm attending to you as a patient and you ask me to extend your malaria treatment from 3 days to 5 days, I'm going to send you to US. This update has been flying around since God knows when. The US Center for Disease Control has announced the extension of Artemether and Lumefantrine from 3 days to 5 days. And I've seen it almost in all WhatsApp status, Facebook, Instagram, and other social media platforms. People are busy reposting and, making it go viral. Now, and if Goody Farmer did not address it the way it should be, I will not be surprised if a patient expects you to extend his or her malaria treatment, especially artemether from 3 days to 5 days, because that is what is in the news currently. I'm not saying the information is false. I'm not saying what they did, the extension is wrong. No, what I'm saying is this: we, the Nigerians, we do not use the same malaria treatment guideline with the US. We have our guideline for malaria management. You understand? So this particular update now is for US CDC guideline. Now, the body that is responsible for malaria treatment and the guideline is National Malaria Elimination Program, which is under Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. The first line of treatment for malaria, especially the Plasmodium falciparum, which is the species that we are all exposed to. The first line of treatment, according to Federal Ministry of Health, is artemisinin-based combination therapies, which include artemether and lumefantrine, artesunate and amodiaquine, dihydroartemisinin and piperacin, and the likes of it. So these are the first line of treatment for malaria, according to our own guideline here. So if US have decided to extend it from 3 days to 5 days, fine and good. So we have to wait for Federal Ministry of Health here to also make an official press or official release announcing the extension from 3 days to 5 days. But the last time I checked, even in their official platform, there is nothing of such. And this update clearly stated as seen US CDC, not Nigeria CDC, not Federal Ministry of Health, not National Malaria Elimination Program, but US CDC. So if we continue to push this without pointing out this fact which I have just mentioned, that it is for US CDC guideline for malaria treatment, a patient might walk into the pharmacy or into the hospital expecting you to give artemether and lumefantrine for 5 days. And if you do not do it, like extending to 5 days, they might ask if you are from the moon. Have you not seen the update flying around? But we fail to point out that this is not our guideline for malaria treatment. I don't know if that makes sense. Yes, it should make sense. Because if I'm on duty and a patient walks to me and asks me to extend malaria drug for 5 days, I'm going to send you back to the US. Because according to our guideline here, it is not official yet. It has not been reviewed. Our guideline for malaria treatment, especially the artemether and lumefantrine, has not yet been reviewed by Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. So we need to let that sink into our head. And before we share updates as this, we should verify if it resonates with us as a person, resonates with us as a nation. Now I understand once it comes to guideline for any disease treatment, it comes from recommendation from World Health Organization, from therapeutic evidence-based. You understand? That should be evidence-based, and the professionals or the scientists and the stakeholders in that country or state. These are the things that determines the guideline. So the guideline for US management or treatment of malaria is quite different from ours here. Of course, the way they handle malaria there is not the same way we handle malaria here. So we cannot use the same guideline. In as much as, yes, most of our drug products are not being manufactured here. But the reason for this extension, if we should look at it holistically, It's not far from resistance, right? It's not far from it, because if you observe malaria treatment, especially Artemether and Lumefantrine, most times it looks like it's no longer working. Most times patients will take it, and before 1 week, they will still come and complain of the same symptom, making it look like Artemether and Lumefantrine is no longer worth it. What I do is, after giving Artemether and Lumefantrine for 3 days, I try to add drugs like Fancida or Artesunate, you understand, after the 3 days, to ensure a complete eradication of the Plasmodium falciparum. If the extension is based on resistance, if we look at resistance holistically, it's something that has to do with the gene. For the Plasmodium to be resistant to Artemether and Lumefantrine, it means this Plasmodium has a gene called Plasmodium falciparum multidrug resistant protein 1. So if this Plasmodium has this gene, of course, extending the treatment from 3 days to 5 days will not make any difference, because it already has the gene that will prevent the activity of Artemether and Lumefantrine. I also expect that the same energy you have used to share this US CDC extension of Artemether Lumefantrine, you should also use the same energy to reshare this particular one. Now, having said that, can we look at this drug Artemether and Lumefantrine, how it works, the mechanism of action, and possible resistance